Kurt Russell vs. Kevin Costner. Who was the best Wyatt Earp? Many years ago, onlookers watched with bated breath as Wyatt Earp marched out to confront Wyatt Earp. It was the mid-90s, and two rival films about the legendary Wild West lawman were vying for the cinemagoer's buck. First up, on Christmas Day 1993, was George P. Cosmatos's Tombstone, followed 6 months later by Lawrence Kasdan's Wyatt Earp. Twin movies were a regular phenomenon in the 90s. You had Deep Impact vs. Armageddon, Dante's Peak vs. Volcano, and even Ants vs. A Bug's Life. But the dueling westerns had a lot more at stake because there was a significant beef between the two productions. Kevin Costner was set to star in Tombstone before falling out with screenwriter Kevin Jarre, moving on to develop his own epic biopic of the frontier marshal with Lawrence Kasdan. Rather than let things lie, however, rumors circulated that Costner had tried using his considerable muscle in Hollywood to sabotage the distribution of Tombstone. Kurt Russell, Costner's replacement as Wyatt Earp, maintains that Costner was one of the good guys, but took umbrage with other individuals. This caused him to take a combative stance against the Wyatt Earp film. You. Buddy, I'm gonna take you on full force, Russell recalled thinking at the time. There could be only one winner, with pride at stake as well as ticket receipts. In the end, Kurt Russell and Tombstone prevailed over Kevin Costner and Wyatt Earp. Russell's concerns over box office competition were unfounded as Tombstone made more money from a smaller budget and also received better notices from critics. Since then, it has gone down as one of the best modern westerns ever made, while Wyatt Earp has largely fallen by the wayside. More recently, there's been a fresh wave of affection for Tombstone after the sad passing of Val Kilmer, who gave one of the best performances of his career as ailing gunslinger Doc Holliday. But which actor was the best Wyatt Earp? Kurt Russell or Kevin Costner? Matinee idol handsome and carrying an old-fashioned sense of decency that keeps us rooting for him even when he's playing a bad guy, Kurt Russell embodies a sense of rugged American individualism that fits stories about the Old West perfectly. Many of Russell's most memorable performances have come in westerns or movies that are in some way western adjacent. Just look at two of his star-making films with John Carpenter. He channeled Clint Eastwood and starred with Lee Van Cleef in Escape from New York, and certain elements of his character in Big Trouble in Little China carried over from its original iteration as an adventure set in the Old West. In more recent years, two of his best performances came with magnificent facial hair in The Hateful Eight and Bone Tomahawk. Russell brings all the qualities we associate with his screen persona to Wyatt Earp in Tombstone, not to mention a very impressive mustache that was almost even more over the top. There is some suggestion that the actor actually directed the movie instead of credited filmmaker George P. Cosmatos, but whatever the truth, it certainly feels like a film built in its star's image. Good-looking, dependable, no-nonsense, and carrying out its action beats with surefire efficiency. The real Wyatt Earp was a far more shady character than the romantic screen versions portrayed by Henry Fonda in My Darling Clementine and Burt Lancaster in Gunfight at the OK Corral, and Tombstone gently touches upon his unsavory aspects. Early on, we see him and his brothers muscle in on the action in Tombstone, and there is an uncomfortably sadistic streak to how Wyatt pursues vengeance in the final act. Russell doesn't always get to show his full range in movies, but he handles Earp's contradictions with an assured touch in Tombstone. He also shows a lack of ego that really benefits the film. While he is the top-billed actor, he's happy to play part of a sturdy ensemble including Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Powers Booth, Michael Biehn, Thomas Hayden Church, and Stephen Lang. Russell is the star, but his Wyatt Earp is the rock that Tombstone is built on, typified by how he is regularly upstaged by the scene-stealing Val Kilmer. Kevin Costner as Wyatt Earp.